Oh, okay.
Update settings for YouTube. Okay. Looks like we're up and running.
Oh, the
Hello,
live feed.
everyone. Yakshamach. It's your boy DJ Clean. This is Beatcookin in Cleveland. And today I have a special episode. I got my good friend, my production partner from back in the 90s. I mean, hey, we had a studio in his basement. We partied together, we clubbed together. He's a great producer, also from Cleveland, Ohio. Worked on a lot of different projects. My man, my good friend, my co-worker, my production partner, Dirty Rum. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you, James.
Oh man, you know it's love, man. Hey, we here at home, man. It's just two brothers online having a conversation. You know I'm not gonna
Right.
railroad you or nothing like that. We just here to talk about music and the state of music and how things are going. So
Exactly.
not to hold you up too long because I thank you for doing this interview. We're gonna get right into the questions. My first question for you, brother, is at what age did you fall in love with hip hop? And when did you know you wanted to be a producer in hip hop?
Man, so I remember I was at my cousin's house. Man, this was like I was probably 8 years old, around
Okay.
around 82, and they had some music like videos playing in the one room I was in, and the message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five came on.
Oh wow.
That was the first time. That was the first time I ever heard it. And
Wow.
man, let me tell you, I was blown away.
You and me
man,
both.
what is this? I mean, I've heard like rap stuff before, but it was just it was so powerful and like looking at the video and them walking the streets and all, just what they were saying,
Yep.
and I was just like, man,
Mm-hmm.
what is this I'm listening to? Like, what is, I never heard anything like it.
Wow. Wow. Man,
So yeah, that's pretty much what got me into it. I mean, ever since seeing that video, I was just in love. I couldn't get enough of it after that.
wow, man. You know
Yeah.
what? I didn't know we had that special connection. I'm gonna
Uh
tell
huh.
you about the message. The first record that I ever scratched as a DJ was the
Mm-hmm.
message.
Oh,
And
okay.
and also I never saw the video because we didn't have videos. I lived in an
Right.
apartment building, and there was a pissy hallway in the apartment building that I lived in. So when I
Right.
heard the message, I said, "Damn, he talking about me."
So, exactly.
I was like, wow. So yeah, man, it's interesting to find out that the first song that got you involved was the message. So we gonna
Right.
move on to the next question, and the next question is hip hop producers. What hip
Uh
hop
huh.
producers would you say influenced you to get involved with this music called hip hop?
Okay, so this is another interesting one. I remember, me and Jason, we were jamming with Greg back in the days. Like when
Mm-hmm.
Greg had his first group,
God bless the
ETD,
dead.
everything's dope. With
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rest in peace,
Mm-hmm.
Seed. I
Mm-hmm.
love you, bro. But we were DJing. We used to do this like house parties and stuff. And like I remember my mother, she had bought equipment from Fella. That's another one. Rest in peace, Fella.
Mm-hmm. God
She
bless the dead
bought some
again.
DJ. Yep. And we were just DJ parties back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that on what Saturdays they had the club style. What is it?
108. Mm-hmm.
108.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
WDMT.
then yep. And I remember one night we was all up. It was me, Jason, Greg, and I think Demo.
Mm-hmm.
We were all up and we were listening to the club style mix, and a chorus line by Ultramagnetic MCs came on. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
time I ever heard it. And I remember Tim Dog came and his voice came on, and just the opening verse and that's that beat and everything. I was like, man, I was like the message. I was blown away. I was like, man, what is this? Like, it's like, they were flowing on that track, and then after I heard that track, James, I was like, man, I want to start doing music like that, man. That's like that beat just had me where I just like whatever they're doing, whatever kind of equipment they're using, that's what I want to do. And ever since that day, I remember me and my twin brother, we talked to my mother, and she knew we was like, you know, into music, and like for her to be supportive when we were like 14, 15 years old, she wound up buying us an SP1200.
Wow.
And ever since then, ever since then I was learning it, and you know, being from Cleveland, we didn't have a lot of music history as far as like New York had, where they had producers galore. You know, you get producers, new producers. They were all friends. They, you know, was in each other's studios or you know, apartments or whatever, working on beats. Like we didn't have that, so it was a few far between producers in Cleveland that could actually show you how to work certain equipment or give you tips on stuff. So it was a long process, man. You know, we didn't have YouTube videos back there to teach us stuff. You had to read the manuals. They didn't have any kind of like videotapes or anything. So I learned as much as I could from reading the manuals and experimenting. And then I had people like EQ, you know, another one, God rest his soul, EQ.
Wow.
He helped
bless
me.
the dead again.
Yep. EQ helped me, man. And Jazz Mark was big. Jazz Mark helped me a lot. And Jazz Mark referred me to a dude, another producer named Rough Draft from Cleveland. That he you know, just talking on the phone with some of these guys, they like helped me discover certain things I need to do. You know, as far as on the SP1200. Trying to get my production skills up pretty much.
I have a confession,
But
Jeff. The first time I ever saw an SP1200 was in your basement. That's the first time I ever saw one. I had heard about the legendary drum machine, but I had never seen one until we had a studio in your basement. And I came over your house and I saw it. I was like, wow, this is the legendary SP1200.
Yeah, man. That drum machine was beautiful, man. I've owned 3 of them things. I can't believe I sold all.
Wow.
I regret it to this day because they worth like $6,000.
Yeah. They cost crazy. Now, well, while we're into the third question, I was going to ask you. Let's just keep going. What other machinery are you skilled in? What other programs do you use, or drum machines do you use?
As of right now, I'm more of a hardware producer. I'm trying to get more into like software to integrate with the hardware and stuff. With like mostly now I'm just doing all stuff on my MPC X. Okay. And it's all and it's
that's
all
a great machine.
Desktop. Yeah. And I just use it inside the machine. I haven't really dabbled with the computer software for it, which, I know is like a beast to use. It can, do a lot more stuff. But I'm just so stuck in my ways as far as like just doing stuff on the hardware sense, just like tapping on the drum pads and stuff. It's hard for me to kind of like switch over to doing stuff with the computer. But I tried working with the software and doing that before, and I just got to learn how to get the hang of it because it does make stuff.
I'll tell you, Jeff. Serato Studio is easy to use, and if you ever want to learn, I'm here to teach you, of course, and I know vice versa because I want to get into the MPC world as well. So maybe I'll have to come over and you can give me some lessons.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, and I took almost a 13-year break from music, man.
Wow.
So when I sold all my studio equipment, and then I decided, I'm like, man, I got to get back into music. It's like it was just my passion. I wound up buying this MPC X. Well, at first I bought the MPC 1, and when I, when I had it, I got into a bad car accident. I think you remember when I was leaving work one day, I got into a car accident down the street and I hurt my neck from it. And so with the MPC one, the screen was flat. And I remember when I was trying to work with it after the accident, my neck was too much stress on my neck. So I want sending that back, and I wound up getting the MPC X, the bigger version with the tilted screen. So now, like you can see it in the background, kind of right here. It got a tilted screen on it.
Okay.
And I can just use it from all angles or whatever. But yeah. So I wound up getting that, and man, I literally learned pretty much how to work it, as far as just easily making beats and manipulating stuff I needed to do within pretty much 2 weekends. I would just constantly watch YouTube videos. Like I said, back in the days, we didn't have that. But now, like, you can just go on YouTube and watch these, like, underground dope producers, man, all over the world, like, showing you how to do tricks and stuff on the MPC, like, you know, just ways to manipulate it the way that you want to work your machine that's comfortable for you. I mean, there's so many different ways to work it, but it's pretty much it's what you're comfortable in doing. So yeah, but I'm thankful for, man, these cats around the world that post these videos, these beat making videos for you know, showing you how to work stuff, because it's a blessing, man. It
right. Yeah, you can learn a lot off YouTube, man.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep.
Okay, so musical inspirations and musical artists in Cleveland that you have particularly worked with, or outside of Cleveland that you have particularly worked with. What musical inspirations? Who inspired you to do music and
So okay, that was actually back to the whole Ultramagnetic MC the chorus line. Production wise, I didn't even know really what a producer was, but when I found out Said G from Ultramagnetic MCs that produced the chorus line and pretty much was their producer, and Paul C, rest in peace to Paul C.
Wow, yep.
He co-produced that record. Yep, he co-produced that record, and that's Said G was my biggest influence back then. What it was like, 87, 80, 86, 87, I think. And you know, he produced, I believe he produced all of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, BDP.
He produced
he helped BDP.
So yeah, he was my biggest influence, man. Said G was a beast back then. So
yeah.
But as far as people from Cleveland I worked with and influences, man, who didn't I work with?
Right. You work with me?
Man, everybody. Yeah, everybody, man. It's like, you know, I did what, 3 full-length album projects with Greg. Seed XL and his group Concert. Not his group what is it? Unseen Click. Yeah, I did like 3.5 projects with them. I had a little group with Sketch and his younger brother Mike Strive. He used to be called Collision. Mike Strive and Zoo is what we used to call Zoo Drew. Lavelle Austin and Obi-Wan and my little brother Quiz Infinite. We all had a group called Psycho Squad. And we found out there was another group called Psycho Squad, so we changed it to Them Is Us. But yeah, we did like a little kind of EP thing. I think it was about like 6 songs we all did together. And we never released anything, but that was a dope project coming together. I did a whole album with Sketch and Collision. They call themselves a Loud Mouths. I work with this group, the Lost Souls from Cleveland. That's my brother Half too, and Rain. And they still working on music. Half, he doing some good stuff, man. He did a song with I think he just did a collaboration song with Brooklyn Bad Seed. And he did a song with a video with Rusty Jukes
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
somebody else. He did something with another guy named Spit Gems. But yeah, it's a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
local.
Re-
Most of the people in Cleveland, back in the days, I worked with, and like if it was in the hip hop some way or another, I
mm-hmm.
worked with them.
Hey Jeff, remember this project you gave me the vinyl for, and I still have the
Mm-hmm.
vinyl and the sticker. Can you see this?
That yeah, 90. That was my first house music collaboration I did with my my brother Sam from France. He calls himself brother right now, but back
Okay.
then he was known as Ismo. He was known as Ismo back then, and I met him on Facebook, and this is like kind of when I got out of hip hop and started doing house music,
Yes, yes, yes.
and
Let me
yeah,
interrupt you and say, DJ Rum is,
okay.
or Dirty Rum is also a house producer, and we've
Yeah,
also done
and
house as well. Yep.
what's funny, Jay, is now that you brought that sticker up, I don't know if you can see in the background right here where I'm pointing. That's the record right there
Yep.
sitting
Yep. Yep.
on my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yes. So yeah, that I did that with, and then he had another full length CD he came out with. I did another collaboration with him on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. Sammy, he a good dude, man. I love that brother. I'm like when we first connected from MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the first time he called me, and we talked on the phone. We never met personally. I remember he had a tour, and the closest place he was in Detroit, and I couldn't make it. So it break my heart that I couldn't make it to actually meet him that
Mm-hmm.
weekend. But I'm like, man, we got a forever connection, a forever bond. And
Mm-hmm.
he a good dude. And he a dope producer, man. Like real, like seeing him grow up from when he was young and doing his demo house music stuff and to where
Mm-hmm.
he is now is just
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing, man. I'm so proud of that dude.
Yeah, it's amazing how the internet can bring the whole world together. It's amazing.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, now let's see. You kind of hinted at it earlier in the interview, but which do you prefer in music? Do you prefer the underground scene or do you prefer mainstream?
I'm more of an underground dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like as far as I guess as far as going out, if you like going out clubbing and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and partying and stuff like when we did back in there, more the commercialized stuff is what they go play, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you go like kind of
Mm-hmm.
party to and
I'm a
dance
little bit of
to.
both. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's we going out and stuff like that, going to clubs and playing party records and stuff. I can get into that, but like on my personal time,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm like just like vibing, like if I'm at home playing music or I'm in my car,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what I want to listen to. I want to
Right,
listen to
right.
like stuff that's kind of my speed as far as that I can kind of more personally relate to, and just
You
like
want to hear something
under
different.
right, and
Mm-hmm.
just like the underground scene, man. It's funny, like even like in the '90s and stuff. Nas had a record what he called "What Hip Hop Is Dead" and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was insinuating that like just it was getting too mainstream or something, or it was just too commercialized back then.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I couldn't agree. I couldn't. I don't agree with that because like I told you, I left doing hip hop with it
Mm-hmm.
was I can't remember what year, but I pretty much James I completely got out of hip hop, man. I was all
Mm-hmm.
house music. It
Mm-hmm.
was just all house music for me. I stopped listening to hip hop and everything for
Now,
years.
why would you
And
say you stopped? You stopped listening to hip hop. Is it because of the way
it,
the music was going, or?
okay, yeah, it's definitely the way the music was going,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just me discovering house music.
Mm-hmm.
When the first house music group that made me want to actually do house music was a group called Cassius, and
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I saw their video for what 1999 on it was called Much Music
Much
back then, a
music. Yep.
Canadian.
I used to
Yeah,
watch much
that
music.
Canadian video channel. And I
Mm-hmm.
saw that. I was like with the hip hop stuff, I was blown away by that. I'm like, man, that's what house music sound like now, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Like, so I immediately, literally, after after that day, I just pretty much stopped doing hip hop and started learning how to do house, like studying house and
Mm-hmm.
the greats in the house music scene, and just started getting in that. And for
Mm-hmm.
man, I would say for like a 2 year run out of that, I got like really pretty good at it, and I
Mm-hmm.
had some records like that was released. I had a couple of records, one on Boo Records in the UK. They remixed this record I did with Misty, and the original version was better to me. I didn't care for the remix version, but
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I ever got paid for a record,
Okay.
and
Wow.
yeah, and I had another EP that came out on this label called what was it, Disco Inferno Records, I think, from Detroit. I can't This dude DJ Space Ace, he
Okay.
had some stuff going on, and I was his first artist he wanted to put a EP out on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because I was doing, and the style of music I was doing was pretty much like called like disco house music,
Mm-hmm.
like disco French house music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the style.
That
Because
yeah,
I was like
that's
really into
that's
that.
that's the funky
Like,
style of house
yeah,
music. That's and you also got
right,
me into
right.
it as well. You know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that, like Daft Punk and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. I Daft Punk had an underground label name called Crydomure. Well, one of the guys from Daft Punk, I can't remember who it was, but he had a side label, Crydomure, a French label,
Okay.
and I remember I sent them a demo. And they actually wanted one track I did, but the only thing is, back when I did it, I needed to get it. I had to get it properly mixed down because I was doing my own mix. Then I wasn't an engineer, and it came out pretty shitty, honestly. so yeah, I had to. And then, so I remember I wound up hiring these two engineers to come down in my studio to start mixing some of my house music
Mm-hmm.
records for me, and I just started learning from them how to like do certain things by ear,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. But man, it's no big secret. I was suffering from some mental illness, and like for years, man, and
Mm.
it like certain things. When I was going through certain phases, it ain't like caused me to go. Man, like literally held me back, James. Man, I
Wow.
messed up opportunities because I was just going through so much mentally
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't care anymore, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much why I wound up selling all my equipment. And it's crazy going through that stuff. I stopped doing music, and then I wound up selling my equipment. But then I remember like thinking to myself after I sold everything, James, I'm like, man,
I
I
love
kind of want to
music.
do music still. Like what? Like how the hell am I gonna do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a studio anymore.
Right, 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 right.
so,
Yeah, well,
that's,
I
that's,
just
the,
I
that's the
wanted
stupid shit the
people
mind does to you, man.
I wanted people to hear about the fact that you had quit hip hop production
Mm-hmm.
because I went through the same thing, being discouraged
Uh-huh.
about the way the music was going and how
Was
it
going
pretty much
right,
was all
right.
about black genocide. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
things
Right.
of that
Exactly.
nature. That's discouraging to a person that's not really involved in that type of activity. It's like
Right.
everything
It's
went towards the
right.
street dudes. You know what I'm saying? And hip
Yep.
hop wasn't
Yep.
that in the beginning. It was everybody
Right.
had something to add to it as a
Had
collective.
everybody had a lane for their stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like to get back to your question, what do I prefer? Like I said, the underground stuff is more of my speed because it's a lot. There's so many artists around like that people probably would never hear of that I
Mm-hmm.
literally have relationships with on Instagram because
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of music I check for. Man, these artists are so dope, man. I mean,
Hmm.
they're keeping the underground alive, and like the thing, and what was more impressive is they're younger than me, and it's
Mm-hmm.
good to see cats like younger cats that still understand the culture
Mm-hmm.
and doing it for the culture. That's like implementing like graffiti art still and stuff, and DJs and stuff, and it's like after a while, it's almost now you got all these rappers that's out, and like you said, it's these street dudes. They don't they don't care anything about like hip hop. It's
Mm-hmm.
like for them, it's all about killing people,
Mm-hmm.
selling drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and
Doing
getting
drugs.
witnessed, and right, and it's cool. But I'm like, like they don't have any part of like the actual culture of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
To me they're not hip hop. That's just
Mm-hmm.
that's just rap.
Wow.
That's just mainstream rap
Wow.
music.
Okay, well
That has nothing to do with what I follow.
let's go straight into, and this is solely your opinion. Top five
Hmm.
MCs. Give me your top five MCs if you can off the
Okay,
top of your head.
so this I have I have like two different lists, and because I think for me, I don't think it's fair to do my a top five, and there's like so many new like rappers, even like rappers that I would consider newest from like 10 years till now
Mm-hmm.
that I just discovered or whatever. Like I said, I stopped listening to hip hop for years, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people I discovered like new, and they're not even really new artists, but I just started discovering them when I started listening to hip hop. I'm like, man, these dudes are nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're as nice as like dudes from the old school, pretty much. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say my original five that's just from when I pretty much got into hip hop until now. KRS One is always gonna be
Mm-hmm.
my favorite. KRS
Mm-hmm.
One still doing amazing stuff to today, lyrically and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Rakim,
Mm-hmm.
of course,
You got two
Cool
of
G
mine.
Rap. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, cool G Rap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, man, who else? Like, I'm trying to think in that era. Definitely like Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane was
Mm-hmm.
back area. Big Daddy Kane was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so okay, and even from that era, even though they were a group of EPMD, I
Mm-hmm.
always loved PMD. PMD was one of
Wow.
my favorite MCs.
Wow. I
Like
never hear him
Eric
mentioned.
Sermon, yeah, Eric Sermon was cool, and
Mm-hmm.
Eric Sermon got a lot better within the years. He got a way lot better lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
But man, PMD,
Mm-hmm.
PMD was he was man, PMD was underrated
Yeah,
lyrically.
he
Seriously,
was.
he was.
PMD was cold.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, PMD was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much my top five back then.
Mm-hmm.
So my current list right now, and what I would say newer generation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man, that's actually I pretty much got three lists because I got another. Well, I'll just do two. I'm gonna do with the newer cats that I listen to right now.
Okay.
Um, that from New York, Oh the Great. I
Okay.
just learned about him. I got hip to Oh the Great like 2 years ago. He
I'm gonna
got a
have to
couple
look
of
him up
albums
because
out.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, yeah, he had. I first got hip to him from his album The Last Dragon,
Okay.
and him and a producer from California named Free Minds Beats.
Mm-hmm.
They did a whole album together. And The Last Dragon, the whole concept of it was the movie The Last Dragon.
Oh
But
wow.
I think it's like a 10-track album,
Okay.
and pretty much every album is talking about kind of like depicting stories, different scenes of the movie. But
Mm-hmm.
this dude lyrically is man, he's up there with them all. Like this
Mm-hmm.
dude competes with them all to me lyrically, and Free Minds Beast production wise, that dude is a beast too, man. That's another dude I met through IG, man,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to form relationships with these guys, and that's another cat that's a dope producer, man. And he actually has a couple of odds with a guy from Cincinnati,
Okay.
named Brandon Isaac,
Oh wow.
and they got they got a couple of albums together called North Star, and
Oh.
there's some dope stuff, man. Beats and lyrics, man. They got it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So Oh the Great is
Mm-hmm.
one of my top five right now.
Okay.
Another guy I met through IG.
Okay.
His name is Sean Links,
Okay.
and he got Sean. I think he has like 4 albums he released within the past like 2 years, but he has this album Bolo Ying. You know Bolo from the Bruce Lee movie. he got an album. Yeah, he got an album called Bolo Ying. Man, James, this album, and it was produced by I can't Jamil. I can't remember his last name, but this guy produced the whole album for him, and the album is dope. Oh, just the concept of the album, the picture, the front cover of the album is actually a picture of Bolo,
Mm-hmm.
and I just saw he had showed a video where he saw a link that Bolo, the actual guy Bolo, saw the album and he signed it. He didn't know anything about Sean Links. He just saw that it was an album with his picture on it, and he
Oh
signed
wow.
a copy of it. I'm like, that's so dope that he
Mm-hmm.
did.
Wow.
But Sean Links is lyrically. Sean Links is another one, man, real nice.
Okay.
And so that's two.
That's two. Yep.
Yeah. Three. There's another rapper named Hassan Mackey.
Okay.
He's Hassan Mackey. I think he's from Buffalo, I believe.
Yeah, Buffalo
But
got some dope MCs. That area
yeah,
been slept
yeah.
on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Hassan Mackey, I remember I first heard of Hassan Mackey probably like maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the first album I heard, he did a whole album with Apollo Brown from
Okay.
Detroit.
Yep. You hit me to Apollo Brown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the album he did Elephants with Apollo Brown is monstrous, man. And Hassan Mackey lyrically, his style, his voice, delivery, dude, he is real nice. And and his beats, man. He always say that grime. He loves like grimy beats, man. So he's actually in a group with KF Brown. They got a clique to get all of them. They're all called low budget. They
wow.
Hassan Mackey is a part of that, and so Hassan Mackey is one of the cats, and another guy that's in low budget is on my top five.
Okay.
His name is Ken Starr.
Okay.
Now Ken Starr, I can't remember where Ken Starr is from, but he's in low budget too. And this dude, man, I remember I first heard Ken Starr's debut album years after it came out. Man, I heard Ken Starr's album probably like 6 to 7 years after it came out. And man, I was so impressed by this dude's debut album. I'm like, man, this dude, this is one of my favorite rappers right now. Like he just Ken Starr, he got his own style. He's not, you can tell he's not trying to be like nobody else, but like lyrically, he's nice too. He got just his whole style and persona and everything, man. It was so refreshing to hear this dude's album. He got Ken Starr, he only has 2 albums. His first album was called Star Status.
Okay.
And man, that album, I remember first heard it, I'm like, man, this is amazing, man. I like, and KF Brown, the producer, he did a lot of production on it. And so pretty much KF Brown is one of my favorite producers, so I follow a lot of his stuff too.
Wow.
But Ken Starr definitely. And
let's see,
else?
what that
I'm
was
trying to
4.
think who else. Yeah, that was 4. Yeah.
I won't. If you can't think of another one, I won't press you.
No, I got one more.
Okay. And as the people can see, you are well versed in the underground hip hop scene.
Yeah. And
because at least like 4 or 5 of them people that you named, I ain't never even heard of. Only one I heard of was
Okay.
Apollo Brown. You know, and
Yeah.
you hit me
So
to it.
this. Yeah. So this is another one. This guy is from. He's from the UK.
Okay.
His name is Sonny Jim.
Hmm.
And man, I got hip to Sonny Jim because of an album he did a whole album with Kev Brown.
Mm-hmm.
What, two
Oh, I
years
heard of
ago?
Kev Brown too, but those was
Yeah,
the only
Kev
two,
Brown
Apollo and
and
Kev Brown. Them the only two I
yeah,
heard of. Yep.
and Kev Brown to me lyrically is slept on. He's more of a producer, but I love Kev Brown rapping too. I
Mm-hmm.
love his style and everything. But yeah, Sonny Jim, and it's he has that whole accent, European accent and everything. But man, this
Okay. I'm gonna
dude,
have to look him up.
I love, yeah, I love his style. That album that he did with Kev Brown is called what is it called? Man, I can't think of the album.
Don't worry
It's
about it.
but yeah,
They can
that
look. They can
album,
look it up.
that
Mm-hmm.
right. But that album is dope, man. And he got a lot of other projects. He did a little EP project with Conway, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He did something with what is that guy's name? He did a couple of projects, and he did a couple like EP projects with a whole bunch of other people. But he just
Mm-hmm.
recently did a project. I think it's like an EP, and he has a song on there produced by DJ Premier that's real nice.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just his flow and persona, man. This dude, like, I just love him. It's refreshing to hear like people that just don't sound like anybody else to me. And
Mm-hmm.
just like, especially in today's climate with music today, everybody using those like vocal enhancers and stuff. I don't know if it's auto tune or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but just to hear rappers that's actually just dope MCs that like
Mm-hmm.
that's just rapping and have their own style and deliveries and you don't like you like soon as know who these are. Like a lot of these rappers, like you hear on the radio, you hear something, and I'm like, I can't tell one from the other because they literally all sound the same. Like all the beats sound the same.
With the auto tune, the auto tune makes them all sound
like
the same.
right.
But
Exactly.
if you listen, it'll take you a while. You'll have to keep listening to it. But if you keep listening to it, you eventually learn how to detect one from the other. You be like, oh, that's Lil Uzi Vert.
Right.
Oh, that's Kanye West. Oh, that's Juice World or whoever. But before we go too far, you mentioned DJ Premier, and that was the perfect segue into the next question, which is top 5 producers.
Okay, so my top 5,
Mm-hmm.
man. So Primo is number 1 for me because outside of saying
he's in my top 5. He's not number 1, but he's in my top 5. But go ahead. This is your interview.
Outside of Said G, Primo was the one that pretty much after I started kind of like learning my identity as a producer, he was pretty much more influential on like I guess my style and sound that I wanted to craft. So
that's a great choice. Great choice.
Yeah. Premier is one. And when I say top 5, I honestly I can't say I'm just gonna say they're all in my top 5. I'm not gonna say like
one don't take precedent over another.
Right. Right. But Premier is definitely in my top 5. Number 2, I would Pete Rock was another one.
Pete Rock was definitely another. Yep.
Yeah. He was definitely another producer that helped kind of mold and shape my sound.
That's another great choice.
Yeah, when I was starting to get my own sound and develop my own skills of like chopping samples and beats and stuff. And so yeah, Premier and Pete Rock back then, and then even Alchemist.
Yeah, Alchemist is dope.
Was another. Yeah, he was another influence back then. And then with like kind of when I took my break and hiatus from music, when I came back, literally like after 12 years or whatever, and I started getting back into hip hop, a producer that pretty much blew me away, influenced me, like kind of even to my present style of what I'm doing now. Apollo Brown.
Okay.
Apollo Brown got so many records out that he produced, and just with all kinds of dope MCs. He did full length albums with these guys, and just man, it's this dude. Like, you know, he brought back what like the New York sound was. And Apollo Brown brought that feel back to me for what I fell in love with.
Okay.
And
that's 3.
KF Brown. KF Brown is my 5th one. KF Brown is just, man, this dude is and I first heard of KF Brown, he did a remix to Jay-Z's Black album.
Okay, wow.
He remixed the whole album and toward, you know, his own style of production. And I remember when I first heard that, I was blown away. Kev Brown, he just music, like, he's not, to me, this dude is him and Pete Rock are like the king of the bass line with the hip hop with me, man. The way they do their bass lines is just incredible. And so yeah, Kev Brown is definitely in my top 5. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there.
Okay, next question. The music industry today. What do you like about the music industry today? And what would you change about the music industry today?
So, I would say the music industry today, what I actually love about it, that a lot of these underground artists that I wind up getting hip to and I'm like making connections with, they're all doing their own stuff. They're not depending on like record labels.
Okay.
Like put their stuff out. They're going about it like, you know, their own lane, like setting up their own little companies and do stuff for themselves. And I love that because, you know, when we was coming up, it was all about you really couldn't do anything pretty much unless you was on a major label. Like unless you had like unless you had funding from like drug dealers and deep out like Jay-Z and
right,
that
right,
drug
right.
buddy from back in the day. But yeah, like these new dudes, they putting out like amazing stuff just on through the internet, man. Like, and they're creating their little buzz just because of that, because they're most of it is just based on their skill, man. Like a lot of them, man. If you like, it's like if you're a dope artist and you kind of have a way to like present your stuff out there, especially through the underground, there's a way you're going to get heard through certain people that's just like checking. Like I'm constantly looking for like new people, like new artists, and there's some guys on IG that's pushing the underground agenda forward. This guy Carrying the Culture has a page, and it's tomorrow. He has every week he does like a live stream of like underground artists or that he showcase like new artists that he feel that we should all know. That's how I learned about the Great actually. Through Carrying the Culture. Okay. And yeah, so I rock with that page a lot, just to find new artists that him and he even on Wednesday he got his wife post stuff for Wifey Wednesday. She'll post her top 5 stuff from what she like, and she just like him got all underground stuff and cool. It's like it's a dope page, man. Every week he talks to brother.
What is it called again? Carrying the Culture.
Yeah, Carrying the Culture. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he talks to Brother Jay from X Clan a lot. Usually, like I think about once a month they do a little live stream, and he's done interviewed a whole bunch of like hip hop greats like Inspector Deck and just Planet Asia, just all. Yeah,
that's like, one of my. I love Planet Asia too.
Yeah. Yeah, Planet Asia, man, definitely underrated, man. I like, Planet Asia is like definitely underrated. But yeah, That's the one thing I do love about the music industry, because as much as the mainstream kind of like was pushed on us, and like all this craziness what they got with rap now, like this stuff that ain't talking about or saying nothing on the radios that they pushing with just sex and drugs and murder.
Right, right,
Like
right.
you can literally go find underground stuff that has the positive stuff you want to.
Yep.
Even if
There's
you want
so
to hear,
many different topics that can be talked about
right,
that
right.
aren't
I'm like, even
covered
if
by
you want to hear
mainstream
like,
music. It's pretty much
right,
either you
right,
clubbing, you sexing, you
yep,
drugging,
or killing,
or you
yeah,
know,
or killing somebody, yeah,
that's
yeah, and it's
pretty
like,
much it. Yep. And it
mm-hmm,
becomes boring after a while. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right,
that's why you
right,
have to
and
go
the
to the
sad,
underground stuff to get, a different variety.
exactly, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing I hate about the music industry, because it's like they're pushing an agenda, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
they're, man, you talking about emasculating the black man with
Mm-hmm.
music. That's what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing, man. They pushing this
Mm-hmm.
agenda, and it's just it's
Mm-hmm.
sad, man, that a lot of
Oh,
people falling for this trickery, man. Like
okay. Let me
our
stop you
young,
right there.
uh,
Let me stop you right there because this
okay,
is the perfect segue into what would you change? What would you change about the music industry? I
man,
could I could start you off by saying
okay,
I would change how much a stream is worth because that's crazy.
okay, okay, right,
That's crazy. It's like it's not even a penny. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
mm-hmm.
crazy. So
Yeah, that's one thing changed. The stream, like you said, the streams
mm-hmm.
with like what iTunes and
Mm-hmm.
Spotify and all that. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like what these people get paid. Like you literally have to get like hundreds of millions of streams to
Mm-hmm.
make any kind of money. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's ridiculous, man. Like,
So
I mean,
it's
it's
basically forcing artists to they have to go out on tour to make their money. While
right,
the
right.
companies can sit back and just make money from their mailbox. You know
Make
what I'm saying?
yeah, and I'm like, from that one stream, I'm wondering what is the company making where they're only giving you like a tenth of a penny from it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's craziness,
See,
man.
that's
I'm like,
showing you
you
right
gotta
there
be
that
kidding me.
that's showing you right there that there's only a couple of major labels and they own all the
Mm-hmm.
artists, so they're still making money
Mm-hmm.
from those streams. But as a
Yep.
single
Yep.
artist, you're not making money. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
percentage is so small, but after you add
Right.
up all those artists, the percentage is big for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So you know.
This is my this is my thing with music. Like I always thought like with record company, because like don't get me wrong, I know record companies take a risk on like putting out projects or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
something like
Mm-hmm.
flop or whatever. My
Mm-hmm.
thing is, I think after a certain amount of like success or like record sales or streams or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
after they break even and then they start recuperating and making like big money from it,
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like after that, an artist should it should be like almost 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
After they break even, they
Mm-hmm.
actually start seeing a product. Because some of these people, they sold multi-platinum records and didn't get nothing from it. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally nothing. Like the companies made their stuff back like tenfold. They like quadrupled their profit from what, like,
Mm-hmm.
they might have put literally like 100,000, maybe $1 million behind somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But these people sold like platinum or double platinum or more records, and they've made like literally hundreds of millions from them, the streams and the record sales all together. And you
Mm-hmm.
telling me you can't give artists like more of a cut from that when you start getting more and more up in the chain of as far as like music sales or whatever. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's always been ridiculous. The percentage what they give you after you like sell like certain amount of records. To me, I always thought it should increase after a certain status or amount of sales of records. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think back in the days
Mm-hmm.
when they were doing um, when they were doing what they call points off of record sales or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like for back then. I think it was like 4 points was pretty high. I think back
Yeah,
then off of
yeah,
record sales.
yeah.
And so and that's another thing. Like I remember I did I had a beat that rest in peace to Sean Price. I had a beat for Sean Price that he was going to use on his debut album Monkey Bars.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him a beat CD, and I remember he called me out. I was starstruck, man. I'm like, I can't believe like one of my favorite rappers, like called me.
Right, that's a real one right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he wanted this beat, and I remember he was talking to me like he called me a couple of times when I was like when he was working on this project.
Okay.
And and he wanted this particular beat he wanted. And I remember he told me he was gonna talk to Drew Ha, who was one of the owners of Duck Down Records then, about giving me more points off of the record.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy, man, because like I think what the points he was saying he was gonna try to get me more than 4 points off the record, which was for that back then, that was good. And, but man, like I said, like unless you pretty much back then, unless you did stuff independently and you didn't have to have like big back from these records and you sold like lots of records, you didn't really make money, man. A lot of these guys, and it's crazy. A lot of these guys was fronting, like in these music videos, they were renting mansions and renting cars and making it seem like they had, and they didn't have this stuff, man. It was just all like a showcase, and like even today, man, I saw what is that guy's name? The guy that they're talking about, he was a rat or whatever. Takeshi, is it Tekashi?
Oh, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah. I saw a thing on him about a year ago. He had all this money in front of him, man, and like they were showing on the video that it was all fake money, but it was like money piled up on the table. It looked like it was a couple $1 million, and it was all fake money. But stuff like that, like you showing the youth and like all these dudes that's coming trying, like most of these dudes it seem like trying to get in the game now, like drug dealers or whatever, want to be thugs. They don't even know how to rap. They just like they just see I guess they're a quick way of trying to make money or whatever.
Yep, it's a lucrative opportunity. Yep.
Right. And it's like that, but that that's what a lot of these guys, that's what their influence is now. It's like I like music back in the day when I got into hip hop, it was all about beats and rhymes for me. I'm like, man, you had good beats and you had like dope lyrics, man. I was on it. That's what I wanted to be like. I wanted to, it's crazy. It's like now, I never got into music to really wanting to be rich and famous.
Exactly.
That was like the last thing on my mind. It's like,
I wanted to be noticed and respected for my craft, but
that's exactly
it wasn't about being famous or rich.
All I ever wanted was to be respected by my peers and doing and like having the opportunity like to be able to post beats on like Instagram and stuff, and had like people following me from all different sides of the world liking my music. That was like one of the biggest. I feel one of my biggest accomplishments. Like I had Marley Marl has a thing. It was called Future Flavors Friday. Him and Pete Rock and Funk Master Flex did like a Future Flavors Friday or Future Flavors project he did. And Marley Marl would do a Future Flavors Friday where they would have like artists like submit tracks to them, and they'll kind of showcase them off their page. And they reposted like 5 of my beats on their page before. And I'm like, man, to me that's like the ultimate compliment for these cats like that I grew up idolizing, to kind of recognize you as, you know, like you doing your thing and you got your own sound and they appreciate it. And I'm like, stuff like that. That's all I ever wanted musically. I wanted, like I said, I wanted my peers to know that, like, you know, I'm up there with you. I'm trying to be in the same realm as you, and like I want you to understand that, like, where I'm coming from is like pretty much the stuff you doing is I appreciate that, and I want you to appreciate the stuff I'm doing because you was a part of an influence on me for doing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I ever wanted, just to be respected by, you know, these dope artists that I grew up loving and stuff.
I feel
so yeah, and you know, even like I had, like, when I first got back into the game musically, I had some beats that you know, I was submitting to rappers and stuff, and I Inspector Deck emailed me back, and he told me, you know, he could use me on a couple of tracks for his upcoming project that he was doing.
Okay.
And you know, I had a couple of other like known hip hop rappers that got in touch with me about beats and stuff. But you know, it's like, James, it's like I'm doing all this house stuff. I've been doing like this remodeling and stuff.
Okay.
And you know, being a creative person, I can't creatively do two things. It's like one got to take a break or whatever.
Right.
So I kind of held off.
Right.
I kind of stopped. I stopped.
Jeff,
doing the beats for a while.
I just want to say this while I have you online. I believe I've told you this before, but I've always admired your style. Like when I come over your house, how your home is interior decorated. You have your own sense of style, and I've just always admired that, and I always thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But
I appreciate
let's
that,
go
man.
on to the next question, because this is important as well. This AI generated music. How do you feel about this AI generated music? And let me tell you, let me give you a quick story real quick. When they first started talking about it and it was trending online, I was like, we got to kill this. I was like, I'm not giving this no attention. I'm not clicking on anything.
Right.
Yesterday, I'm scrolling my YouTube timeline, and a song by Kanye West featuring Drake came up, and it said AI generated. And I just couldn't resist, man. I clicked on the song. I said, I got to hear this. So I clicked on the song. Jeff, it was scary. You couldn't tell that it was an AI generated song. So again, I want to ask you, how do you feel about this AI generated music? Do you feel that it will kill human music production, or how do you feel about it?
So I think, okay, and now that you mention that, I just saw AI for the first. This is my second time seeing this. There was a song they did with Biggie. Biggie redid the verse, did Prodigy's verse for Shook Ones. Biggie did the whole verse. You know, as he was, man, and you know, in his own style, in Biggie's own style, but it's Prodigy's lyrics. And I'm listening to this like, man, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, I'm like, not only is it sound just like Biggie, but I'm like, man, that's him rapping Prodigy's verse.
Right.
I'm like, man, that's crazy. But man, I think that AI stuff, man. I think what I think they're doing with this, I think they're trying to phase out a lot of these big artists because if they do it the way they're trying to, and what I'm seeing from the AI, they're pretty much just gonna make all the money themselves. They pretty much ain't gonna need,
don't have to pay the artist, don't have to pay the producer, don't have to pay the writer.
Right. And I think that's going to like hurt. And so with the underground, I'm not sure exactly where it's gonna fall, because I don't think with AI, I don't think it's even worth them music. I don't think it's worth them musically to like even mess with underground people, because there's a lot of money in it. I think it's the
mainstream
more
artists,
commercialized. Yeah, the mainstream stuff. I think it might suffer, man. I'm like, because you know, if you're doing all this to mimic popular artists and you can't tell the difference, who's to say that they just like one day just go come up with some kind of AI that's gonna have? Because I think a while ago they did release a project from an AI rapper.
Mm-hmm.
That had
Mm-hmm.
his own thing, but I think they shut it down or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But
Yeah,
I remember seeing they
it's
was doing
scary, Rummy, because the song that I
yeah,
heard, that Kanye West Drake song, it was two verses that
uh-huh,
I had never heard before. So whoever made
right,
that, it probably was a rapper that knew how to write, and they took both voices and put it in there,
right,
and they came up
right,
with a brand new song. I'm like, man, this is a trip.
yeah. I wonder what the what like legally what like these major artists can do with that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it
It
seems
seemed
like
like
it
they
got to
could
be
do
some kind
something.
of yeah. Like you can't just take somebody's style and even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not their lyrics, but their whole style and persona and like make a song from them. It just
Mm-hmm.
that just seems like there's legally just seems like there's a
Mm-hmm.
way that they can stop that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand
Yeah,
that at
this
all.
is to
But that
me.
is
To me, this is teetering with danger because I remember when
right.
Napster first came out, and
Mm-hmm.
me and Roger Benedict, we were downloading all these popular songs off Napster
Mm-hmm.
for free, and that pretty much
Right.
killed the music industry. So I'm viewing this as
Right.
the same
Right.
type of thing. It's like,
The same
man,
time.
this
Yep.
might be
Yep.
killing
It's
music
Napster. Right.
artistry.
The new Napster.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The new Napster. Yep. I heard somebody say that actually too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, one of the last questions I have is, there's always this argument, especially pushed by street dudes or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people that come from the street diaspora in rap. They
Mm-hmm.
it's like the intellectuals or the so-called nerds have been pushed out of hip
Mm-hmm.
hop music. So
Right. Right.
it's street dudes versus nerds. Which
Mm-hmm.
side do you take, and which do you think contributed more to hip hop? Street dudes, the drug sellers that came into the rap or the hip hop diaspora, or the nerds, the artsy dudes, the musical dudes, the book smart dudes? Which side do you take?
Yeah. I'm definitely would be considered more of the nerd rap, like what they used to call the backpack rappers or
Me
whatever
as
and stuff
well.
like that.
Me as well.
That's you know, it's like from back in the day when gangster rap first started, and like what's that Schoolie D was one of the first like gangster rappers back in the day. Schoolie D, like Ice T,
Mm-hmm.
even like before NWA.
Mm-hmm.
And then NWA and BDP, Bob Terrace from BDP's first record was pretty much a gangster rap album. That was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
but
And hold on, let me stop you right there too.
uh,
A lot of these artists can be considered as both, because
right,
some of them
because
have,
they
that street edge to them, and they also have that book smart
mm,
edge to them. I would consider Nas
the,
a rapper
the
that
intellect,
contains
right,
both.
the intellect,
Yep.
right,
Yep.
yep, Nas,
KRS
KRS
One.
One,
Yep. Both. Even
yep,
even like Ice T.
Prodigy,
Ice T is smarter than people take him for.
yep,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying? So
yep,
so
Ice
some
T,
rappers
and
can be considered
Prodigy.
considered as both.
Yep. Yep. Prodigy, rest in peace to
Prodigy.
mind. His
Yep.
later works, Prodigy was always street, but his later stuff before he died, Prodigy
Very
was
intellectual.
deep, man.
Very
Yeah,
intellectual.
very. But I think like some of the stuff, as far as like the new street guys now, what
Mm-hmm.
they're promoting and all this stuff, it's like it's taking over the world pretty much. That's like all
Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
these wannabe thug dudes want to hear now. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they don't have any. It's like they don't have any intellect behind it. It's just all like they getting the P, they making the money, they shooting all kinds of dudes,
Mm-hmm.
like they got they and all that stuff. It's like lyrically they don't have they don't have the sustainability lyrically like Nas or KRS One
Mm-hmm.
that could switch to that style if they wanted to and
Right.
do and carry it,
Right.
but they always were intelligent enough they could make different records. And a lot of the stuff that even like back then when they were doing that stuff back then, they didn't they didn't like do it as it was them doing this stuff. It was kind of more like a story type rap type stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like these dudes nowadays, most of them they a lot of them telling on themselves from.
But
like,
Rummy, let me
people.
interject and play devil's advocate.
Okay.
You're not very let's say a rapper. He's not very smart. He's not very lyrical, but he has a computer. He can go to Chat GPT and say, "Write me a rap song." See, that's where this AI stuff gets dangerous.
The AI stuff, yeah, right. I never even heard of that. What is that you said it was?
Chat GPT. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, Chat GPT. You can go to Chat GPT. It can write you software. It can do all these things pretty much that you ask. It can computer generate a picture for you. You know, it can write you a song, write you a rap song. All kinds of stuff it can do. I'm telling you, it's scary, man. It's getting scary out here to me.
That's scary, man. That's real scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's real scary.
So you don't know if your favorite rapper even wrote what he's saying or not. I mean, it was already like that because you have ghostwriters. You know what I'm saying? But now you got computer generated ghostwriters.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I just it's not AI related, but I just saw do you remember D Dot? He was with Puffy.
Yes.
One of the producers, D Dot. It was Angeletti or whatever.
D Dot Angeletti.
He's doing a project. Yeah, he's doing a project. He just released a song. I just saw it's on YouTube with with Black Rob. Like it's all deceased rappers.
Okay.
So it's Black Rob. Black Rob, what's his name? Fred the Godson, and Sean Price. And DMX is on it and on the hook, I think. Or Biggie. I think Biggie is on the hook and DMX got like an outro to it.
Oh,
but the song is dope, James.
Okay.
The song is real dope, man.
Wow.
It's I can't remember. When I'm gonna have to go through I had to send it to you, I had to send it to you so you can hear it. But yeah, I heard it. I'm like, this is killing like pretty much things that's out there now. These are they got verses from all these rappers this day.
Yeah. Also, maybe like 6 months ago, I heard a project. DJ Premier had put out a project like that where he had put like old school rappers and new school rappers together. You know, it was real dope too. I'll have to send you that project that he put out if you haven't heard it. But last question, Rummy, I done had you here for over an hour. I thank you for doing this.
No problem,
thank you for sitting down with me, man. I consider you a good friend, a production partner. Last question. Let's just say hypothetically, I'm out here. I'm a rapper. I have lyrics, but I have no production. How can a person reach you to hire you for production?
The best way right now is pretty much just like through Facebook or IG. IG is where I'm active in more. And that's where I get a lot of like my DMs or whatever from people as far as concerning music. Either that or email me. So you can my IG is what? My IG account is Rummy _ Rosier.
Okay.
And you can find me there, or just Facebook. It's just Rum Rosier, Facebook.com Rum Rosier. That's it. Or email me at dirtyrum@gmail.com. That's pretty much the 3 different places you can pretty much contact me about production work or anything.
Okay. Do you have a Cash App?
Yeah,
What's your cash app?
I
Throw
do
that out there
actually. Yeah.
too.
It's what is it? Just that the dollar sign thing, Jeffrey Rozier. That's yeah, and that Jeffrey is spelled Jeffrey instead of ERY, like people try to spell it. But yeah, that's just yeah, Jeffrey Rozier. That's my cash out.
Well, brother, I
Yeah,
thank
that's
you,
it.
man. I thank you again so much, man. You gave me a lot of content. You gave me a lot of interesting insight on how you think and what's going on in hip hop today. And this is Beat Cooking in Cleveland. This is a special episode with Cleveland producer Dirty Rum. I thank you, brother, and I'll hit you
I,
behind the
I
scenes and we'll
appreciate you.
talk some more.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for this whole interview, man. It was nice to talk about some hip hop stuff, man.
Right, right. All right, brother. Peace.
All right, man.